Hello, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be reviewing 1990's Home Alone. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, and joining me today, it is the Necklace Wonder, Grant Skellen. How you doing, Grant?
Click.
Obviously.
The Necklace Wonder, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got a neck now for sure, but I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We see it. Okay, we see
I'm
it.
not as happy as the kid in this picture.
I've never met this man in my life because one cannot meet himself.
You know, I got a picture from him yesterday, though. This is what Grant Skellen looked like yesterday.
Yeah, I aged 30 years and grew a beard overnight.
Oh, yes. All right. So we just watched Home Alone.
That is a factual statement.
It was your idea, so
Also
you're going to tell us
factual.
about it. What'd you think?
Home Alone is a movie.
Really?
Oh,
I thought it was a book.
It's a great movie. I mean, this movie is an absolute classic for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, for the one person out there who might not know the story, it's the McAllister family, and they're getting ready to go on a vacation to Paris. But the youngest boy, Kevin, gets in a fight with his older brother, gets sent upstairs to his room, which is like on the third floor, like away
In
from
the attic?
everything in an unfinished attic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the night
it's the 80s.
before, yeah, the night before they're supposed to leave for said vacation, and so of course they forget him at home. So Home Alone is the 9-year-old left at home. Mom freaks out, tries to get back, barely gets back before the rest of the family, which just takes a flight. He gets stalked by a couple predators.
Such as this one.
Correct.
And also this guy.
Yep. Fights him off like a absolute boss, and then his family gets back at the end.
Yeah, so he gets stalked by a couple of predators who really just want to rob his house. Like, they went through a lot of effort to rob one house.
Yeah. That's just a reference to the scene where he's walking down the street and they're driving about 2 miles an hour behind him.
In a van. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's fantastic in this movie.
He is.
It's tough to believe that he was shooting this and Goodfellas back to back.
Is it though?
I mean, what do you mean he's funny? He's funny like a clown, like he's here to entertain you. Yeah. He had a hard time not cussing on set, which I think is hilarious. Also, Kevin's family owns a weird amount of mannequins, which our good friend Taylor Murphy says is because people just own mannequins in the 90s.
Normal for his time.
Yeah, he said it was the early 90s, not as weird. I'm like, why did you guys keep mannequins? And he goes, I personally didn't, but some people would have them if they had expensive clothes that couldn't be folded, like furs and stuff. I said, that's just weird. Sounds to me like you collect mannequins. Also, that's making the show.
Yep.
So he's been informed.
Yeah.
I gave him an opportunity to comment. He said no.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
And that concludes from the top rope.
Got a blast.
It's UCF.
Yeah. Fun fact: this movie is directed by Chris Columbus, who is somehow still alive over 400 or 500 years later.
Yep, it was.
And he's back just for this.
Christopher Columbus came over here and he said, I came over there to find spices from India, but might as well direct Macaulay Culkin in 150.
As I said earlier, he discovered the world, and in discovering the world, discovered Kevin being home alone, and decided to perfectly and accurately retell his finding of Kevin as good old Joe Pesci.
As Macaulay Culkin.
No, he was Joe Pesci.
Okay.
He was stalking and trying to break into the house of a 9-year-old and couldn't do it, and decided to tell the story to make fun of himself because he was like 400 years old at this point, at least.
And Macaulay Culkin looks exactly the same.
Yeah, same age as Chris.
Yeah. Oh. Speaking of Chris Columbus said Macaulay Culkin was an incredibly charming kid.
No way. It's
Whoa.
crazy.
Yeah, no, this is a great movie. I don't know why they've made 7 Home Alone movies. Like, they're ridiculously.
Because
them.
2 of them were good, and they just went off the name for the rest of them.
Did 3 even still have Kevin?
No. No, it's
Then
a different
what's
kid,
the-
different
what's-
family.
What's the point?
I think it's just going off the same premise. You know, kid left home alone, parents and family trying to get back. Kid fights off a couple old guys. I don't know.
What they should have done, and I stand by this: Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, just like they did. Home Alone 3, he's a teenager. It's just normal. He's babysitting. Home Alone 4, he's an adult. He just moved to college. He's home alone for the weekend. Home Alone 5, he's just an adult.
Home Alone 6, no.
Home Alone 6, he's in the nursing home.
Speaking of disgraces, when Kevin makes fun of Buzz's girlfriend, that's actually a guy in a wig. I say a guy. It's a boy in a wig.
And the boy is one of the production assistant's son, I believe.
Yeah, the photo was the art director. His son.
Yep. I'm trying something. I'm
No.
trying production value. I really am trying production value. I'm not good at it, but I'm trying.
I could have told you that.
What could you have told me? It doesn't work when it's not an interview.
No.
So Grant, if you had to give this a letter grade, what would it be?
I would give this an F. That's much better.
I think this is the best.
Yeah, because I don't want to see me either. But no, this movie's fantastic. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. I feel like it's got to be in the S tier.
Yeah, this is just fantastic. Like, I agree.
Can you nitpick stuff? Sure. Does it
I don't know
matter?
what you can nitpick, other than the fact that Kevin's family has an inordinate amount of mannequins for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah, so what I mentioned during the watch along, which nobody, I guarantee, heard.
Nobody watched along, but it's got more views than this episode for sure.
It's got more views in like a 20-second average view duration, but that's underselling it by like 5 seconds. But
overselling it by 10, but whatever.
No, it's underselling, but they're trying to reach Kevin and like all the phones aren't working, but he ordered pizza. And I guarantee in the 80s, 90s, you ain't ordering that thing online.
I mean, that was back when computers took up walls.
Yeah. Back when computers were the size of me, and that's saying a lot. So
now they're the size of his neck at birth.
Yeah.
Well, which was just not there.
Yeah. You mentioned, but Macaulay Culkin's stunt double was actually Peter Dinklage. No, it was
a really short 30-year-old man.
Yeah. But
which is interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Joe Pesci, excuse me. Joe Pesci sustained actual burns when they lit his hat on fire. That's a fun fact for you. He spoke about that a couple years ago.
Yeah, director Chris Colombo sailed the ocean blue in 1492. So that answers my question about how old he would have been. He would have been about 500. But Colombo's biggest fear as a kid was burglars. He was afraid that as he was sailing across the seas that he was going to get raided by burglars. But that's part of why he wanted to make this movie after such a long life.
Yeah, because nobody was going to rob Chris Columbus. They were afraid they'd get some disease from his rats.
He was afraid of burglars as a kid, and it became the burglar when he tried to get rid of Kevin McAllister.
This is my Home Alone headcanon now.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And that is how you tied Donald Trump to the founding of this country. Chris Columbus to the sequel.
To the college football playoff.
To the college football playoff.
Yeah. So, there's such a thing as child labor laws, which used to be ignored, but Macaulay Culkin was only allowed to work on set for 5 hours a day. So a lot of the scenes with him or just him, like you rarely see him on camera, like for the bulk of the movie with other people, it seems like.
Yep.
And that's because they wanted to just shoot him and get his parts in when they could.
When he's ordering and dealing with the pizza guy, they shot his scenes inside during the day because he couldn't work past 10 p.m. And they shot the pizza guy outside at night.
Mhm.
And then they actually shot the pizza guy. Like they took him out behind the set and shot him so they didn't have to pay him.
Yeah. Just like the mannequins.
Why would you shoot the man?
The blowtorch scene, they used a fake burnt head. Columbo still has that in his office.
Or at time of writing. Yeah.
Whenever the heck this IMDb trivia fact was written.
I'm 99% sure Chris Columbus is dead.
Is he?
I have no idea. But I believe so.
No, he was a producer on a movie that came out this year.
Hey, it's only 65. Never mind. My bad, Chris.
Like, he's been alive for about 500 years, so what's another 20?
Yeah.
30?
30. He's only 65.
100. If you're actually listening to this, Chris Columbus, no disrespect meant.
If you're listening to this, Chris Columbus, send us an email at muchtalkaboutnothing@gmail.com. Let's get you on the show.
Yeah.
Oh. He was born in September. No, I was hoping he had like another name. He also okay, this man did like a bunch of movies.
Yeah, he
Adventures
did.
in Babysitting, Heartbreak Hotel, Home Alone,
Hold
Only the
on.
Lonely.
You know what else he did?
A couple of Harry Potter movies.
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
All right. If you do that again, I swear on all things holy, I will drive there and rip your toenails out one by one.
I want father to hear about this.
He will. He'll hear you screaming as I'm ripping
Obviously.
your toenails out one by one.
Sorry, there was perfect opportunities to get every single one of them I have in here.
I hate you. All right. So this guy is the Gabe Kapler of making movies. Adventures in Babysitting, Heartbreak Hotel, Home Alone, Only the Lonely, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Mrs. Doubtfire, 9 Months, Stepmom, Bicentennial Man, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Rent, I Love You, Beth Cooper, Percy Jackson and the Olympians for some gosh forsaken reason, Pixels and the Christmas Chronicles 2.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. But if you look at this, his Rotten Tomatoes, 69, nice, 38, 67, 64, 34, 71. So Home Alone's a 67% Rotten Tomato. Are you kidding me?
What?
I didn't even bother to look it up because, like, why?
This movie is a classic and never did that. It needs to be taken out back and shot.
It's a 65 Rotten Tomato, 80 audience score.
What?
That is ridiculously low. Also,
Yeah.
you know what else is a crime?
What?
This photograph of Joe Pesci. Give me a second. I'm saving this. And I'm about
Let's
to
see it.
This is the Rotten Tomatoes photo of Joe Pesci.
This might be a stupid question. Did John Williams do the Harry Potter music?
Yes.
I thought so.
This is Joe Pesci's Rotten Tomatoes photograph, Grant. That's a crime. That's like a hate crime against Pesci's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad. But yeah, that's like a ridiculously low split. Like, I cannot believe it's that low. What's Home Alone 2?
Dude, that is crazy low.
Home Alone 2 is a 35-62.
What?
A change of venue and more sentimentality and violence can't obscure the fact that Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is a less inspired facsimile of its predecessor. What?
People are stupid. My mom was saying we should have done Elf.
We should have done Elf. I wanted to do Elf, but I let you pick the movie.
Elf would have been a good one.
Boo.
Elf is higher rated. Elf is 86.79. But that still seems like the 79 still seems low.
It's got a lower audience score than a critic score. That's weird. All right.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Home Alone 3, which we have both ripped on, has almost the same critic score as Home Alone 2. Yeah.
Critics and audience, you're stupid.
Yeah, well, the audience for Home Alone 3 realized it sucked. It was a 27.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's real terrible.
That is horrendous.
They did Home Sweet Home Alone a couple years ago.
Sweet Home Alabama?
This one had Ellie Kemper from The Office, Rob Delaney, Archie Yates, Timothy Simons, Ally Mackey, whoever that is. Like, I don't know anybody. Oh, Kenan Thompson's in this movie. So is Pete Holmes, Chris Parnell.
Is Kenan Thompson the...
Yes, Kenan and Kel. The critic consensus for this is nobody's home. It's a 15-12 split. With a ridiculous story and an obnoxious main character who's harder to root for than the villains, Home Sweet Home Alone is no fun for the whole family. Which is a Rotten Tomatoes way of saying we really hope these villains beat the crap out of this kid.
That's
terrible.
Something, yeah.
I can't believe all of these are so low though.
Yeah,
It just strikes me as weird.
I'm genuinely surprised it's that low.
Yeah, it's a little shocking. Shocking. Oh, I don't have anything else to say. So here's a picture of Ben Kingsley in Gandhi makeup.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
We went from Phil Swift to Phil.
Yeah, they put you on the screen.
Need I go back? All right.
I thought of another clip I need to add.
Sometimes the elements get the best of them. The older penguins know that it's just a matter of time before they call out.
I hate you because that punchline's fantastic. He froze his nuts off. Anyway, the movie's really good. Critics are really stupid, and apparently audiences are too.
Yeah,
Home Alone's fantastic. Michael Jordan's the GOAT in it. At least the cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan. I wonder how much they had to pay Michael Jordan to use his cardboard cutout.
small loan of $1 million.
That's Home Alone 2. Anyway.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
This is descended into madness.
I hate you. I was trying to run a professional show. Now I just hate you.
If you're trying to run this has never been a professional show. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate you. Anyway,
Don't
this is
worry.
our last show for the year. Also, reasons I hate you.
You're a narcissist? You're a sociopath? You're probably a psychopath. You're paranoid, sexist, and you make fun of the elderly. Those are just quirks!
Do you know what I have to say to that?
No idea.
Obviously.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last episode of the year, so we can recover from this stroke that we've had. Lest we end up coming back looking like this. Next year, we're going to do some rebranding.
You already do.
We're going to do some interesting things, hopefully. I'm going to have a life for a little bit. Also, crippling anxiety.
Is a life of its own.
Is a life of its own. It's like an entirely different world, man.
So
Yeah, if anybody should know, Skellen, how many times have I called you and you gone, what world are you living in?
too many times.
Too many times. Way.
I could not count.
It's been a lot. It's been like 2 or 3 today.
Yeah, like at least per day for the past 2 months.
6 months. No, it's
Since
really
I've
been
known
2.
you.
It's been 2 months. It's been a long time of me just being kind of anxious as all get out.
Yeah.
Mental health is not a joke, but mine is.
I make it a joke. So
yeah, mine's rough. So yeah, we're taking a 3-week mental health break, even though this is the only thing in this godforsaken life I enjoy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you'll return to us in the new year, assuming my anxiety hasn't killed me. As always,
or me when
if
you're
you-
back.
As always, if you want to give us money so I can afford to keep going, or maybe afford to get some anxiety meds, but then the show would be less entertaining. Anyway, if you want to make the show less entertaining, pay us at patreon.com/theculturednerd. It really helps us out. There's some cool stuff we want to do that my anxiety says probably isn't going to happen. But I beat that horse to death. At least I'm afraid I have. Anyway, as always, I've been your host, Grant Ingram.
And I'm here. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Jose for the logo and Taylor for the intro.
Yes, and thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed this, I don't know why, but thank you. Leave a like, subscribe. If you want to check out more of The Cultured Nerd, scan that QR code on the left. If you want to check out more of us, scan the QR code on the right. Like we said, this is the last episode for the year. We are going to do some bonus stuff, some rehashes, probably drop our Margaret Holzer interview, maybe our Gabe Lee interview, and some other fun stuff. But this is it. We're done being live. We'll be back next year live.
Well, we've been done being live.
I've been dead a long time. We'll be back next year, back doing our directors or actors or whatever. We haven't discussed it. We'll communicate. We're going to start posting on things more. We're going to start being better humans, or at least we think we are. We're probably not, but we're going to try. And isn't that all that matters at the end of the day, is that we try to be better people? Anyway, rants aside, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you in the new year. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. If you celebrate Hanukkah, thank you. Happy Hanukkah. And Kwanzaa, I think Kwanzaa is a thing. Happy Kwanzaa. Any other holiday that you guys
Happy
celebrate,
holidays, just
enjoy
go
it.
ahead.
I can't say happy holidays. That just seems so insincere. Anyway, Merry Christmas, all the holidays. Happy New Year. Woo! Anyway, see you next year.